Hi, I'm David Harry, and in this video I'm going to be unboxing and testing what must be the cheapest all-in-one studio condenser microphone setup that money can possibly buy. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is unboxing the contents of this box, which is like an all-in-one microphone solution for a studio condenser mic. Now, straight up, when I bought this on Amazon, it was £12.99, which is absolutely insane. So what I'm going to do, I'll do the unboxing fairly quickly. We'll just flash through what's in the box, because what's the most important thing here is to actually test the microphone system itself. So I want to kind of get into that as fast as possible. So what I'm going to do, I'll just whip through the box, go through all the bits in it. Now, bear in mind, this costs £12.99. The prices probably fluctuate as they do on Amazon, but yeah, when I got it, £12.99. This is insane. Okay, so the first thing out of the box is the user manual. Now, I'm not going to get bogged down on that because it's a user manual for a microphone. Really, how hard is it? Next thing out is a contact sheet for Mugig or Mugig. Sorry for not pronouncing the name correctly, because I've obviously got that one wrong. The next thing out of the box is the foam pop shield. And this looks like it's really substantial, so that should be really good for plosives and whatnot, but we will find that out. And this is a mesh pop shield as well. Some people refer to these as spit guards, but in any event, they kind of block out wind and whatnot. And these are the ones which are elasticated, and they actually sit on the microphone itself. And then to connect the microphone to wherever you're connecting it to, there's a cable which is a female XLR jack plug to a male 3.5mm stereo jack plug. Next thing out is this very nice looking and feels quite well built suspension cradle for the microphone. This is the clamp for the scissor stand that comes in the package, so a standard G clamp. This is the scissor stand that comes in the package. And this is basically one of like your bog standard normal scissor stands that come, like, you know, they're made by Newer and whoever, so that's what that is. And now for the business end of what's in the box, which is the microphone. Okay, so just a quick recap on what's in the box. A manual, a contact card, a clamp system, a nice heavy foam filter, a wire mesh filter, an audio cable, a scissor stand, and the microphone itself. Oh yes, and an elastic suspension cradle. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is get into testing the microphone itself. So what I'll do, I'll put it into a few different positions. One will be like fairly far away, and then another two closer positions. And then I will use the foam pop shield and also the mesh shield as well during them different changes in position. And as far as the scissor stand is concerned, I've already got a newer one, which is the exact same one as what's come in this package. So I will just use that anyway because it's the exact same scissor stand. And the other thing is, I'm going to be powering the microphone direct from the camera, so this is going to be the most fairest way of testing this system. You could use an external preamp, you could use an external phantom power supply, but I just want to test what comes in the box as is to see exactly how this will all sound. Now, another thing to bear in mind with this test as well, what I'm going to do, I am not going to touch the sound of this microphone in any way, so I'm not going to do any kind of limiting, no compression, no normalizing, anything like that. The only thing that I will do is during the different positions that I'm going to put the microphone in, I'm going to have to probably change the input level a little bit on the camera. So the only thing that I'm going to do in post-production during the edit is just maybe level the takes out a little bit, and that's just so that they just don't jump wildly against one another on playback. Okay, so I'm going to jump straight into the test now. I will also be doing some count tests and also some kind of noise sensitivity tests as well. And then at the end of that, I will come back and do a summary. Okay, so I've run into a couple of problems immediately as I started doing the test. First problem is the cable that comes with the microphone doesn't work. The second problem is the fact that my camcorder's voltage and current apparently isn't enough to drive the capsule on this particular microphone, which is quite odd because the plug-in power supply that my camcorder uses, or the voltage and the current that it sends down the audio cable, has been fine for every microphone that I've ever tried on it, which requires plug-in power. So what I've had to do, I've had to now switch over to use my Saramonic Smartrig, and what that's going to do, that is going to send phantom power, and it's also going to pre-amplify the microphone. So basically what we're doing here, we're feeding it 48 volts. And just another thing to make clear here as well, there's no way that this microphone or microphones similar to it, there's no way that they're true condenser microphones. Basically what it's going to be an electric capsule in here. And then what happens in the body, it has a DC to DC power converter. So what happens is it'll take a 48 volt phantom power supply, and then inside it'll do a direct current drop down from 48 to a direct current voltage, which is in keeping with what the capsule requires, and that's usually going to be somewhere between 1.5 to 5 volts, somewhere in that region. And another thing worth noting here as well, I'm speaking directly into the side of the microphone where you would think is the front, which is the one with the logo on, but this sounds a little bit dull. But if I turn the mic around, suddenly it kind of gets a bit crisper. So I think that this is the front of the capsule, which would otherwise be deemed as the back of the microphone, because this is the side that has got like Made in China on, and there's the logo on the front, or what is normally the front. So basically what I'm going to do is treat this as the front. So while I'm here handheld just explaining the problems, I'll do a quick kind of directionality test. So that's one side of the microphone, that's another side of the microphone, and then that is the side. So what I'll do a little count as I'm turning it round. So this is the side which I think is the front. So I'll do a count around to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so I'm round to the other side. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the directionality or the polar pattern pickup on this microphone is odd, right? It's not cardioid. It feels almost like it's figure of 8, but with like a dull side and a bright side. Anyway, I'll crack on now with the test in this configuration. Okay, so after that little false start there with them couple of technical issues, we'll just get straight into the actual testing of the microphone now. As we can see, the position that I'm in here is just on the end of the boom, inside its suspension cradle. And this is a like kind of distance. Let me have a look at the monitor. Yeah, this distance here is kind of like typical of someone who wants to do like, you know, a vlog piece, or like a VO, or anything like, you know, where you don't mind the microphone in shot low like this. Now, the only thing is, because it's a bit further away from my mouth than what a close mic position would be, we're kind of more subject to picking up bits of the room, acoustics and stuff like that. But, you know, some people don't mind that, or if you're in a room that isn't very acoustically active, it's not a bad thing anyway. So like I say, this distance is fairly representative of people who like to podcast, vlog or whatever, do pieces to camera, where they want the microphone low in the shot like this. Now, the other thing I'd also like to say as well, because, you know, this didn't get off to a very good start, the construction of the microphone actually feels really good. It's got some reassuring weight in it as well. It doesn't feel like, you know, like it's going to pack in like anytime soon. And also, the suspension cradle is like, I don't know, it's probably some alloy thing, or it might even be aluminium, but it is an all kind of metal construction. It's a really, really good cradle, this actually. So I'm actually very impressed immediately with the build quality of the microphone and the cradle. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, in fact, I was going to go to like much closer positions, but what I'm going to try pulling this out a shot over the top to see if it'll work like that as well. Okay, so I've now got it boomed coming in over the top, so it's just outside of the frame up there. Now, I'm just trying this in case it works, because you never know these things until you try them. So basically what I'm doing here, I'm trying to give myself a really nice clean frame. So that could be for anything, do you know what I mean? Pieces to camera, vlogging, podcasting, anything that you want to do, but you don't want to have a microphone in the shot. So like I say, this should give us a really good idea as to how this sounds now coming over the top on the boom. Now what I'll do, I'll get on with some more closer positions like in front of me. Okay, so as we can see now, I've got it much closer to me. It still doesn't obstruct me face or anything if I'm doing a piece to camera, but because it is this close, what I've now had to do is put the mesh shield on. So basically it's acting as a popper stopper in this instance. And like I say, you know, this is just another configuration to show people exactly the versatility of a microphone like this and with the attachments that come with it, because there's no way you could probably get this close to this microphone without some form of shield on it. And like I say, this could just be really good for somebody else, because they might just go, well, okay, I don't mind the mic being this close as opposed to it being far away. And also with it being this close, what it means is that you can drop the gain down on whatever preamplifier that you're using. So whether that's a camera's preamplifier or an external preamplifier, the closer you get a microphone to the source of the sound, as in my voice in this instance, it means that you can back off the amplifier a bit, or the preamplifier, and that's kind of going to give you a couple of really good things as a result. One of them being a lack of noise as well, so it'll drop back the inherent noise floor of whatever microphone you're using. And also, the closer you get again to the source, in this instance my mouth, you will also tend to get a little bit more of a bassier pickup as well. Okay, so this just gives us another example of the microphone this close and with the mesh pop shield on, or the mesh filter on it. And so now to the last configuration for this microphone. I am literally going to eat it. No, seriously, what it is, sometimes you need to get a microphone really close to you to get a certain type of sound. Now, immediately, you're going to be subject to bass proximity and stuff, so all the bass levels will rise up, so the tone will change quite drastically, or it should change quite drastically. But this could be useful because, one, you may like the sound to start off with anyway. Plus, also, if you're in a fairly noisy environment, like say if you're in like your home environment doing podcasting or voiceover work or anything like that, and let's just say you've got loads of traffic noise coming in from the window, or say for instance you're in a room which has got like nasty acoustics in it and stuff like that, the only way to really get rid of all of that stuff is to get right on top of a microphone, and preferably a cardioid as well, because it's going to be like mostly picking up from its front. As we've already surmised here, this really isn't a proper cardioid, but nonetheless, it's going to be useful in certain applications, and this is just another one of them. So for whatever way or for whatever reason you might want to get a microphone this close to you, this is exactly how this one sounds. Now, the other thing as well with this, I've also been able to back off the preamp loads as well. So the closer you get, you're just dropping down the preamp more and more, which means that you're going to knock out tons of noise. Okay, so I think I've covered all the basics now for this microphone, different positions and whatnot, and given examples of it. So what I'm going to do now, lastly, as far as testing the microphone is concerned, is to do me count tests and then me silence sensitivity noise test thing, and then I'll come back for a summary. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So to the summary then, and at this point I was going to switch back over onto my Sennheiser coming in over the top to do the summary piece, but I've had a listen to some of these takes and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to use the microphone to do the summary as well, because I've got to be dead honest now. Now you've got to take all this like with the caveat that you've got to look at the price of how much all this stuff cost. I've got to say, this microphone, I mean, the microphone even on its own, let alone all the rest of it, I think this is a fantastic microphone for its price. Now, don't get me wrong, you know, I can't put this up against certain microphones that I own because it'll fall flat. But if you're just starting out, say, doing podcasting, vlogging, YouTube videos, or anything where you need to get like a decent dialogue, and let's just say you haven't got a lot of money to spend, there's no reason why you can't get this microphone and then also get a Saramonic Smartrig, because let's get a couple of things clear out the way as well. Yes, the cable was broke, but all you'd have to do is get a cheap XLR to XLR cable and then get the Saramonic to power it and to pre-amplifier. Now, the Saramonic costs £22. If you can pick up one of these for £13, the kit, then you're talking £35 for everything, and you're going to get exactly this sound quality in the process as well. And, you know, I don't know, maybe the overhead shot, the boom shot worked really well for you. Maybe the backed off version did. Maybe you don't like this version. Maybe you like the one where I was chewing the microphone with the foam shield and stuff on it. I'll leave that down to yourself, you know, to kind of work out which of them configurations that you personally liked. But the one thing I can say is this is amazing value for money. And like I say, I'm not going to put it up against like, you know, £1,000 studio condenser microphone, because it wouldn't be fair. But in its own merit, in its own right, this is amazing. And if this is like your first kind of steps into like doing vlogging, YouTube and whatever, and you need a microphone and you're doing stuff to camera and what have you, I'd say, yeah, go and get this and a Saramonic preamplifier. Anyway, I can carry on rabbiting all day when I do summaries and stuff, so I'm just going to wind this up and just kind of reel myself in like I have to usually. And all I would say is, though, you know, you make up your own mind over these things, but I'm fairly sure if you go listening to a load of other YouTube stuff, you know, people like demonstrating cheap microphones, I think you're going to be hard pushed to find something that betters this. And dare to say, you're probably going to be hard pushed to find something that comes as close to it, bearing in mind you get the scissor stand and the filters and all that stuff. Okay, so now it's time to shut up. So the last thing I would like to say is thank you very much for watching this video. Take care and goodbye now.